Okay, I'm going to be going over a review of properties of exponents, and this is on page 5 in your unit packets. So if you want to pause this video, turn to page 5. You guys are going to have to take notes on this, and I'm going to check the notes. Okay, so first, and you guys don't need to memorize the names of these properties, product of powers property. If we're multiplying by the same base, we add the exponents. So an example here would be if we have x to the 5th times x to the 6th, then I'm adding these exponents. So this would be 6 plus 5 gives me 11, so this would be x to the 11. Now, if I'm dividing, so if I have x to the 6th divided by x to the 4th, that means I subtract my exponents. 6 minus 4 gives me x squared. If we want to think of this visually, I would have 6 x's. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 divided by 4 x's. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1 for 1 crosses out. Cross out, cross out, cross out, cross out. And all I have left are 2 x's, which would mean x squared. All right, when I have an exponent of an exponent, that's when I multiply. So if I have x to the 1/2 squared, well then this would be 1, I'm going to write this as 2 over 1, so it's easier for me to see because I'm multiplying these two. So I would multiply straight across. 1 times 2 gives me 2. 2 times 1 gives me 2. So this would equal x is 2 over 2, which would equal x to the first power, which we know would just be x. All right. So if I have multiple things inside of my parentheses, that means I need to distribute the exponent to everything inside my parentheses. So if I had x squared times x to the 4th, and then the exponent on the outside was to the 5th, because it's an exponent, I distribute it to both terms, and x to the 2 times 5 gives me x to the 10. 4 times 5 gives me x to the 20. Doing an example here, I have an exponent outside of parentheses, so I need to distribute to every term. And here I have a fraction, so I need to distribute it to the top of the fraction, the numerator, and the bottom of the fraction. So let's say I had x to the 2nd over y to the 3rd to the 4th power. So I'm distributing the 4 to the x and the y, and I get x to the 8th over y to the 12th. 0 exponent property. Anything to the 0 is 1. So if I have 5 to the 0, it equals 1. Anything to the 0 is 1, not 0. All right, negative exponents. Whenever you have a negative exponent, you flip it to the other side of the fraction and it becomes positive. Or if you have a negative in the denominator, then you flip it to the top. So let's say we had x to the negative 2 over y to the negative 3. That means this y to the negative 3, I'm going to bring to the top of the fraction, and it becomes positive. And then this x to the negative 2, I'm bringing to the bottom of the fraction, and it becomes positive. All right. I'm going to do the second example for you, and then as homework, I want you guys to try 1, 3, 4, and 5. So finish this page. I'm going to do 2 for you, and then I want you to finish all of the problems. So the first thing that I'm going to do, I see this 3 outside of parentheses, so I'm going to distribute it to every term. So my numerator is going to stay the same. And I'm going to have a to the negative 12, b to the 6th, and c to the 3rd. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to circle the negative exponents. because any item that has a negative exponent, remember I'm going to flip to the other side of the fraction to make it positive. So I'm going to have 3a squared b to the third, and then this a to the negative 12 is now going to be up here, a to the positive 12. And then I have down below, this c to the negative 2 flips to the bottom, so I'm going to have c to the positive 2, b to the 6th, c to the third. Now, in my numerator, I have a squared times a to the 12th. So I'm going to add these exponents. 12 plus 2 will give me 14. So 3a to the 14, b to the third. And in my denominator, I have c squared and c to the third, so I'm going to add these exponents. 3 plus 2 gives me 5. So c to the 5th and b to the 6th. Now I realize I have b's here. So I'm going to have b to the third over b to the 6th. So I'm going to have 3 more exponents in the bottom here. So 3 minus 6 gives me b to the negative 3. So it needs to be on the bottom of the fraction, and it's b to the third. So 3 on the top, cross out with 3 on the bottom, and I'm left with 3 on the bottom. So 3a to the 14 over c to the 5th and b to the 6th. So these 3 cross out, and I'm left with 3 down below. Oh, sorry. This should be a 3. That's my final answer because I don't have any more A's, C's, or B's to combine.